Now,
Tom, we're rolling.
We're rolling. Jack, I don't want to put any pressure on you or you, our guests, Fitz and SwaggerSouls, but I was going to go see the new Mission Impossible this morning, and I can't now because we're doing this. So this better be better than that.
You think this is going to be better than Mission Impossible?
Quite frankly, no, Jack, which is hence my disappointment. But I'm hoping we can at least claw a scratch of that.
I think this could be more educational, hilarious.
First of all, there's no final reckonings happening today. Everything's very possible. It just doesn't feel like it's going to live up to it.
Shut up.
I'm talking.
Shut up! I'm talking. I'm talking. I'm talking. Oh, shut up! Shut up!
There you go.
Do we do that well?
That was good.
Nice.
Yeah,
That was
so
good.
bad.
I was going to try and sing, so we go, shut up, we're talking.
But that would have been terrible.
That would have been bad,
that's
right?
not even.
Yeah,
Hard to
Swagger already got
coordinate.
king.
Oh,
What
whoa,
happened?
whoa.
Welcome to the great
Welcome.
city of Melbourne, Australia. We're here with TommyInnit and Jack
What's happening?
Manifold. We got a beautiful skyline behind us. We're wearing suits. We misunderstood the memo.
Yeah,
was-
let's touch on that
Hang on,
first
let's
off.
just
Yeah.
wait till we sort this. 'Cause
Oh,
this
well,
is-
yeah, okay. Let's
Eryn-
deal with this.
Oh,
situation.
they're coming
We're
back down
going
now.
back down.
It's going to f up the
What?
exposure.
Audio listeners,
You've-
the motorised
Oh, and
blinds
it's
before us
squeaking.
just started going.
This has been Melbourne, Australia, everybody.
Okay, once they're down,
Okay,
It's very, really
Yeah.
very
loud.
loud.
there we are.
So why are you guys in suits?
I think it was comes down to a simple misunderstanding. We were put into a group chat with your
Russ.
team,
Big Russ.
Big Russ.
I feel stupid.
And
Anyway.
yeah, so it was Suit X Fitz and Swagger.
Which now that we've said the intro, shut up, I'm talking.
Yeah.
It's like,
Did you not watch the podcast prior to doing this?
well, I mean, we heard about the podcast. We watched the podcast. We love the podcast. Shut up, I'm
I
talking.
like
God.
going,
Jack.
You guys know about the $7 Patreon. You're subscribed, surely.
We're tier 3 subs.
Absolutely.
We don't have
You
tiers.
don't
Yeah.
have
We
to.
don't
That's a genius idea.
But now we're going to add them thanks to you.
Make sure to go to the Patreon. It's only
Right.
$7.
Guys,
It's true.
because some of our viewers might not know you, wrote an introduction, which I'm going to read now.
Ah,
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Introduction. Here we go.
Proud of you.
Two long-term funny YouTube stars we've been watching for a long time, famed for their big parties and gaming. Fitz has a whopping 5 million subscribers, and Swagger has less.
it's true.
Like me, they had a patchy on and off group channel, but mine stayed off. Ladies and gentlemen, today we welcome Fitz and SwaggerSouls.
Hello.
Hey,
Happy to be here.
That's
fucking
the
awesome
fans.
to be here.
It's hot
That
in
was
this
good,
room.
wasn't it?
That was great. I really liked.
I'm going to do that for more of the
I
guests.
really liked the reference to the patchy group channel.
Yeah.
I just want to acknowledge before we move on from the suit thing. I was up at 6 a.m. practicing my Windsor knot. I just feel like
Really?
You look good, man.
thank you. It's
You do look
It's a
great.
$200 rental, so maybe a reimbursement.
I was up early.
Nah,
I was up
it's not
early
gonna happen.
forging my tie.
He's on the
Wow,
anvil.
yeah.
Because you're in that. For audio listeners who don't know what Swagger looks like, he's in a chain mail of armor because
He's
he's
a-
You might be
faceless.
able to. You might be able to hear it for the audio listeners. The jingle jangle of my chainmail tie.
He looks great.
It is difficult to describe, or it does feel like we're lying, but no, he
So
isn't.
imagine a sexy man in a suit sitting down next to another sexy man in a suit, but this sexy man who's talking has a chainmail coif and a chainmail tie.
Coiffed up, baby.
And if
And-
anyone doesn't know what a queef is, it's sort of like a
Okay, guys, so
hood.
we
You're,
open with a
hitting it from
segment
the
of the
back.
podcast.
Sorry, too early.
We open with a segment where we like to ask every guest their worst moment of the week.
That's
Ah.
true.
Fitz, I'm going to throw it over to you now for our opening segment.
Mum died.
That's not good.
No,
That's
it's not
horrible.
true. Nah, she's
Okay.
alive.
Oh,
God.
God.
Yeah, well. Worst moment. I mean, honestly, the worst moment of the week right here, figuring out that I stayed up researching how to tie a tie last
Did you
night.
really do
actually
that?
do
I have not tied a
So
tie.
legit, when's your night?
It's a legit. This is a double Windsor,
A
actually.
double Windsor.
And
I don't even know that one. I
It
know the
took me
Windsor.
30 minutes this morning to get this one done.
Really?
Despite all my research. And I walked into the lobby and saw Jack wearing jeans. And I just felt like a fool. Egg on my face, as you say in the UK.
Do we?
That we've never
You guys
said.
say
I don't think we've
egg,
ever
egg
said-
on all over my face.
Egg all
Scrambled.
Egg all over my face. That's horrible. But yeah, that I'm sorry that we were part of that. I really No one else has ever made this mistake. And I'm going to be honest, we do the same thing for everyone.
Lads,
we should have done our research.
I know, Jen would have done
I don't want to act like I'm putting it on you. We should have. It was a lapse in communication.
If I'm in this cool jacket.
This is a Canadian tux.
That was great.
So I'm almost as cool.
You're wearing
as
denim
guys.
on denim, Canadian tux. So you're
Yeah.
basically formal.
Yeah, in it, Jack. You're the only one letting us down.
And a fucking Guinness shirt, no less.
He's got a chain on, though. It's pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. I
appreciate
really
you do a
did
little
try, actually.
You guys look good.
This is my nice...
Thanks, Fitz.
Right.
My
You
parents
say that
bought
to
me
every
this,
podcast
goddammit.
host you go on.
I do, actually. But you guys really look good.
Oh,
Like-
stop.
Nice.
Swagger, what's your worst moment of the week? You can't copy his.
Yeah, probably 3 or 4 days ago, I was cooking some breakfast, and I got some pork sausages, and I was going to throw that shit on the pan, undercooked it, ate it, shat liquid for probably a good 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. Undercooked pork.
Undercooked pork doesn't go so.
If it
doesn't
makes
go so
you feel
good.
any better, shitting liquid doesn't count as shitting yourself. Because if it does, then I'm always
No,
shitting
don't.
myself.
Right, this
True,
is-
it's like you're-
You got IBS?
I've got something bad.
Ooh.
I got IBS. What he just shits himself.
Y'all
Before a
need
show, he will fart a lot and liquid will come out. And he claims because it's not
That's
poo.
not poo.
It's the funny
It's
juice.
right.
Right?
It helps
But it
you.
is poo.
That's not poo,
only
mate.
poo comes out of a bum.
Nah.
Well,
There's all sorts of
that's-
sort of fecal
I
matter.
feel like you're generalizing.
So maybe you didn't shit yourself. Maybe you're just having a fun
it-
moment.
it-
I have a lot of pre-show moments.
If it walks
you
like a duck, smells like a duck, if it comes out of my ass like a duck, it's probably a duck.
The king of metaphors, guys.
That's me. That's what I'm known for.
You know what? Screw it, Jack. I'm going to break the format. I'm going to tell you guys my worst moment of the week because it feels just so damn appropriate
Well, I was
today.
gonna
And I
ask,
think
Never done that with
I
a
think
guest.
it's going
You
to
don't
give
do
you
that.
some consolation.
We might bond.
Me and Jack were in the post office in Sydney.
Oh my God, yes.
And we had a massive curry the night before, and Jack was
really
like,
good.
"Oh man, I was on the toilet for a while this morning with you," and I was like, "No, I wasn't. You know, I've been to the gym, and then I had another huge sandwich after that. I was walking around, I felt like king of the world." And we were in this upstairs in this post office, and Jack can attest because he was here. I went, "Oh," and I grabbed onto the thing, and I properly was like, "What the fuck's happening? There's a demon in me that needs to be expelled." And I started being like, "Jack, what's happening?"
As if he knows.
His face was like, he just all of a sudden went, oh.
And
You
Jack was there.
were so in tune with one another. Jack was immediately like, "You have diarrhea, Tommy." You
No,
know.
I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh, it's coming. And we were in the line and I had to sign something at the post office. I went, Jack, you're going to have to fucking do it for me. So I go, where's the nearest toilet? She goes, downstairs in this mall. I sprint downstairs in this big sort of like underground mall, restaurant, food court. What I now know...
Post Office Square, Brisbane.
Yeah, and what I now know is that the sign for the car park, the little man on the car park looks fucking identical to the toilet man.
toilet man.
So I'm running round,
They're cousins.
going to these things,
They're
and
related,
it
yeah.
and it leads me to dead ends. And I go to one end of this food court, and there's nothing there. I go to another end, there's nothing there, and I'm fucking freaking out. At one point, someone looks at me like he's gonna recognize me, and I give him the hardest death stare, like because I'm running around, one hand up fucking on my ass, the other hand like squeezing my fist so tight, I'm in proper fear, and I'm running around sprinting, and I go to this woman behind a sushi counter. I've gone to 4 corners, and I'm like, there's no toilet. I go, excuse me, where is the toilet? And she doesn't listen to me, and I go, hey, please tell me, where is the toilet, to this poor lady. She goes, there. And I see it, and I sprint in, and oh my God, Swagger, when I tell you now,
Niagara Falls.
I left that a new man. Okay?
I had to. You were gone so long. I got to the point in the post office where they needed you to sign again.
Jack had my phone,
I just had
too.
to forge his signature. I had his.
No.
I had his phone,
That's the
so I
worst.
couldn't even text you because I needed your phone to do the thing. It was a real. I started worrying for you at one point because I couldn't get in
so
touch.
devastated. I was properly it was the first time in my life it was gonna come. If I hadn't have ran, it was. I
Really?
had about a few more minutes before I would have shat myself.
And maybe the most horrifying part of the story is you had to take that shit without Instagram Reels. Like, that's
And
crazy.
that's
Yeah,
so
you
true.
can't even
I was
watch
left alone with my own thoughts. It was devastating.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well, now
Anyway,
we've discussed
poor-
loads
too
of
poor
shit.
soul.
So that happens
That's a-
a lot. You poop often, like
I poop
without
often, yeah.
wanting to.
No, that was the first. That one was the most intense. But I get a little pre-show.
Mm.
You get the nerves.
Two
Yeah.
shits before.
You know,
It's not even like nerves. It's like my body like is in a pattern.
The gut and the bowel is very connected to the nervous system. So when you're anxious, oftentimes it can create a situation down there, Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Why have that?
breathing breathing.
That's why we developed a system where we just plug it before a show.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to worry.
Absolutely.
You just...
Yeah, but if you get really backed up, then if it flies out all at once on stage,
it's kind of,
It's all right.
you want to kind of contain your achievement.
Mine has a pressure dial, so it'll let me know when the cooker's about to explode. I'm like a walking pipe bomb. King of metaphors.
So anyway, for any of our viewers that are fans of shit, this is the episode for you.
Great
But
start,
enough
I
of
reckon.
that shit.
We're
We got
just
shit
shit-talking.
to ask you, boys.
Oh, that was...
Thank
see
you.
that?
I really
Do
do
you know what
work on the transitions. Boys, we have a list of fucking questions. We got loads. But the first one we want to know, because we genuinely didn't know, is how did you two meet?
Counter-Strike.
A hinge.
Oh.
Counter-Strike.
We went on Counter-Strike, the video game Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It was on a surf server. I don't know if you guys are familiar with surf servers. Back in the day, it was all the rage. In 2016, there was a YouTuber known as Leafy.
Yeah, I love Leafy videos.
All he was known for was for his surf gameplay. Very good surf gameplay at that.
Nothing else.
So we would play, the surf shit. I met this guy, Gumby Gamer. This was back when I had like 1,000, 2,000 subs on YouTube, very small. Fitz had maybe around 5,000 to 10,000. This dude, Gumby Gamer, was friends with Fitz. He met me on his surf server. He goes, dude, like you'd get along so well with my friend. Like, let me introduce you. That was around the time that I started to gain traction. He started to gain traction, and then we just both started,
we were
gaming
both
together.
sort of joining these surf servers for the same purpose, which was like, it's like a platform where you can just be funny to a bunch of dudes.
Voice troll.
Yeah,
it was just like voice chat trolling
Trolling,
videos.
around.
freestyle rapping,
doing poetry,
just
like
trying to
random
make him
bits.
laugh.
Random
pretty
bits. A
much.
radio show. You
Yeah.
did a radio show bit for a while.
CS Surf was like the original Subway Surfers, is what I realized. It's like it was just like gameplay that you could put anything over the top, and people would be like, "Yeah."
It was hypnotic.
They just-
It was
That
people
kind of
were-
reminds me
hypnotic.
of like Minecraft SMPs, where people would just join them to literally fuck about and like being cool.
Like, the gameplay sort of didn't matter.
Yeah, well, it just kind of.
Yeah, you knew everyone on there was just like just got home from work and was
They
just looking at
smoked a bowl.
talk shit.
They
like,
just
Wow.
drank 3 beers,
Mhm.
and then they're just there to like, just decompress or fuck around or like, laugh basically.
And are you living in Australia at this point?
Yeah.
Oh, you're already.
No. At this point,
No,
no.
no.
When we first met, no. I was in America.
Wow. So, because you're also not from Australia, right? You're from New Zealand.
I'm from New Zealand. I'm a Kiwi.
So, how do you both end up here?
That was Misfits.
Yeah, it was kind of misfits. We sort of
really?
decided.
So you started a group channel.
We started
Yes.
a group. This was
that came
much
first.
later.
This is much
no.
later.
This is much later. Like
Oh,
for
okay.
a long time, we all coexisted, sort of as
Just
friends,
as friends
making content
online.
in our home countries.
Yeah.
And Melbourne just turned out to be sort of a city we liked. We came in for PAX.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
a
sure.
group
Yeah,
of
PAX
us.
is here, right?
It was the closest to a lot of us.
Yeah.
Most of
Yeah.
the Misfits are from Oceania kind of region.
Oh,
You
sure.
know,
Okay.
I mean, half of the 6 of the, Misfits were from
From
New Zealand.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Little known
Yeah.
fact, yeah.
Yeah.
So how? So, but you picked here anyway.
Well, we just like Melbourne. It's sick.
Yeah, it's really
yeah,
good.
yeah.
We've been here
Yeah.
less than a day, but
It's a great city.
we only saw the casino because that's where his gig
Yeah.
is. Which
Hey,
is
it's a great-
it's a great casino.
It's a great place.
it's like proper Vegas.
It is. It's like I'm like doing a Vegas venue.
But you
like,
can't
when you're
smoke
like in this like
cigarettes.
slimy Vegas showroom full of casinos, then you see a sea of TommyInnit fans. It's a very like unusual.
Yeah, it's very jarring.
Like none of us are
You
in
can
our
really
natural
tell none
habitat.
of them have been there before.
No,
it's
and
like
nor
really,
me. It's really like why am I doing it here? It's the only show in the whole tour as well. I'm doing 2 back-to-back dates. It's really weird.
Yeah, we're back
But-
tonight, back at the casino.
So you did a
Yeah.
show last night here.
I
Yes.
did. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
What was the vibe like?
It was good.
Real good. Yeah, the room was kind of. I mean, it's like a Vegas room rather than like a load of theater chairs. There's like little Tony Soprano ass booths that
Oh yeah,
people
like
are sat
booths
in.
with the tables and drinks.
Yeah,
and shit.
it's quite.
No one's
like-
ordering drinks at the TommyInnit show, by the way, just to let you know.
What?
But they
What?
could if they wanted.
They could.
Oh.
But it's unusual. But it was a really good one last night. Yeah,
Nice.
a classic. But we are like at the end of tour now, so we're
Yeah,
like
what-
fighting so much harder to give it our all than we were a few weeks ago.
Is there almost
Yeah.
like a second wind you get right at the end of a tour where you're like, we're almost there? Like, is this send it home with these last 2 shows? Or
I find
It might kick in tonight. This is
maybe
the
we'll
second
kick in
to
tonight,
last.
but I kind of get the opposite, where my body the whole time is like, we have another month to go, we have 3 weeks to go.
Yep.
yeah, it sounds so intense.
Then in my subconscious, it's like, we're near the end now. And I just all my illness I've been stowing away because I know I can't.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
it's sort of all manifested.
Last tour I ended, I just got super ill. I can feel it coming on a bit
I remember
now.
it was Baby No Money that said it to me. He was like, if you do a tour and you don't get sick at the end, you didn't do it properly. Like, it's like so difficult not to get sick doing this.
So, I mean, just a few more questions about your YouTube before we get into your lives. Like, I remember walking to school listening to the Misfits podcast with Baby No Money on long before I knew you guys. Like, you've been inspirations for me.
That is really wild.
What sort of got you guys into YouTube, originally?
Well, for me, I just always, I didn't like university for starters. I don't know if y'all could relate.
You're only 28. You're not that much. Yeah.
I'm a young guy, but I always just feel like I was good at entertaining people. Like growing up, I was always trying to make people laugh.
Yeah.
I did a lot of kind of improv and musical stuff growing up.
All right, cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, big
What,
guitar
musicals?
player. No, not musicals. No, not quite a theater kid, but I did do a lot of improv in my late teens.
Sure. Okay. Fine.
But I mean more like I played the guitar growing up, and my favorite thing ever to do was just to make songs up on the spot. I still do it to this day all the time, like make my girlfriend laugh or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I loved YouTube, honestly, as a teen. I just loved YouTube and thought that'd be cool. So, during that summer break after high school ended and university was about to begin, I just thought, this is the time if I'm going to start making videos. Just sort of started goofing off with no expectation.
That's great.
Kept it up sort of passively right through university. And then,
What were you studying?
Huh?
What were you studying?
Don't ask me that. I was just doing an arts degree. I had no idea what I was doing, Tommy.
Did you get through it? Did you finish it?
No. I left after 1 year because I just didn't feel like it was doing anything.
If it makes you feel better, you beat me. I did 2 months, so so you did all right.
I was ready to quit after 2 months. I just sort of slogged it out.
Yeah.
And when I say slog it out, I mean I avoided all my classes and barely did any work.
Yeah.
I did uni during COVID.
Oh shit!
So I joined the lectures on Zoom and just play Animal Crossing on my other one. I just wouldn't. I got my Switch just around then. I'd like do that, and then the second the lecture ended, I'd stream. Like it was. Yeah, I know the feeling. I know it well.
But you get that one video that kind of starts popping, and then you're like, "Let's run it. Let's go."
That's the train, and then years go by.
Yeah.
What about you, Swagger?
Well, I actually started, I guess, I didn't actually start with YouTube. I started as a streamer. I started on
really?
Twitch. Yeah, back in like 2015. I was just streaming random games. Even before I was streaming, I was doing the same kind of thing that I would do when I was meeting Fitz and surf servers. I would go into these random games. I would do random shit. It was like in Gary's Mod, even. If anyone knows Gary's Mod, there's a game mode, Dark RP.
Yeah,
which is like a role-play game mode people take very seriously. I used to be all up on that. I used to troll people. I used to fuck around. And, he's
a natural troll.
I am. It was, and then I would like read Shakespeare or I'd rap or I'd do like whatever for like money. And like that would just be like my thing. Eventually I translated that kind of shit to going on to Counter-Strike servers. And I was doing that, just going around and fucking around. And every time, I would ask for like in-game commendations, as like, whatever. And people were like, dude, why don't you make a Twitch channel? Why don't you stream this? And so I started streaming it. I streamed doing that shit pretty like consistent for a couple of months on and off. Got to like maybe a couple thousand followers, maybe like 20 concurrent viewers before I decided to start making videos. I was always into making videos. Like even in high school projects, making videos always like scratched an itch for me. Something about like, coming up with an idea, filming it, doing the effects, and then making a final product and like showing it off to people. Like, I used to watch a lot of Freddie Wong, like, video game high school type shit. Very inspiring early on to like get into that. So I transitioned from the live content to doing, recorded content. Originally, I was making Rust videos.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a Rust YouTuber. That was like, the niche I wanted to carve out in. And then I started doing like my whole Counter-Strike thing. And then before you know it, the bit where I freestyle rap, was the bit that took off.
Yeah.
And then, that did like 1 million views in a week.
And we both had that experience around the same kind of time. We both blew up simultaneously.
You get a lot of sort of camaraderie
within
in that,
a
don't
week.
you? Like, I remember that.
It was very much like a what the hell is happening to us kind of moment.
Yeah.
And we're both blowing up together, having met each other organically, like right before our individual blow-ups. And it was
very serendipitous, I would say.
very serendipitous.
And here's a question for you, Swagger. Sort of, so you're, faceless. Why was that? And what's that like still to this day?
Yeah, I mean...
Burn victim,
an acid attack.
Oh, little UK business.
No. My
the
friend
Joker.
took like 5 tabs of acid and cut my face up with a knife.
We can laugh about it now, but
It's okay. Yeah, you don't want to know how I got these stories.
Oh, I did.
But no, like, I guess, there's like the motivations for why I do it, and then there's like the inspirations for why I do it, and I guess the experience. So I guess we'll start with like the inspiration. So when I was younger watching YouTubers, I would always watch YouTubers that were doing Let's Play videos. They would be... Typically, I would never see their face, and then I would have this perfect image of like what they looked like in my mind, and then they'd face reveal, and it would ruin that image.
Because I remember when you face revealed, I was like, what?
Yeah, I have nightmares about my face reveal video. My face reveal video is like mentally scarred me.
I've never seen it.
Not necessarily because there was a negative response, but I just look at that earnest young boy, and I just think like, man, we should have waited on that one or something. I should have grown the beard first or something. I don't know.
You looked very young compared to your voice.
Yeah, true.
You had a real deep voice.
Yeah, quite a baby face back then.
Yeah, I was very shocked. It was exciting, though.
I want to see this now. I've not seen this face.
It's
Oh God, yeah, it's.
But those are, the motivations. That's what inspired me to kind of do it. Just kind of keeping anonymity. I just feel like is also good to separate like your online like public persona from your own individual self.
Yeah.
Is that mad though? Like you don't get recognized. Like
if I open my mouth,
that was
here.
I was going to ask that.
There's
surely.
a very strong chance, and it's happened before. I've been at a Bunnings, which is like an Australian department store, to get like a fucking hose for my bidet. And bidet is very good, by the way. You should
They're great.
look into that.
Okay.
You got IBS.
Right.
Bidets are very good.
Yeah. I don't trust it, man. I want to use my hands.
Yeah, you want to
I
get up
don't,
in
I
there.
don't trust a machine. Do you know what I mean? It's all AI these days taking over. I'm not letting them.
Depending on the pressure and your angle, you could blast a little bit just like into the inside of your rectum, just whoosh, and flush it out.
It's like a little mini enema.
Like a little mini enema.
Oh, it's like,
like a little whirlpool.
There's like a little
right.
techie on the rim sort
We're
of
getting
thing.
too into
literally,
detail of
literally.
our souls, lads.
It's like, have you ever seen
my
a video
amazing
of a
fans.
tiger
Hey,
getting
what?
pressure
Swagger,
washed?
no, because I do not want to hear about our souls.
This is why he keeps his face a secret, so he can talk like this on
'Cause he's a
shows
pervert.
That's
and
a
walk
bonus.
around the streets confidently.
It's a bonus.
Like
It's
nothing happened.
It's a big bonus. But yeah, I mean, I've been recognized before. Been
You have
recognized
the
at
most
the
distinct
mall.
voice like ever.
Yeah.
It is.
It's certainly, not, it's like, we went to like a Denzel Curry concert very recently, and like, all I got to do is be next to this fucking guy.
Yeah,
and people
cool.
put two
Oh,
and two
sure.
together, and someone goes,
Do you guys get recognised a lot in Australia?
yeah,
Yeah.
him especially. I mean, the
We've
size
been
of
getting
this
recognised more
Yeah, I'm
here.
like
It's
bigger
fucking
here
mental.
than
This
in
dude's like
England and
6'6".
I think it's also like Aussies just have like a cult. Like they'll just come up to you and be like, "I know you from somewhere." Like, sort of.
yeah.
you're bloody going, mate. Fuck.
Oh, but you also get that like. When someone's kind of staring at you and you're like, I think they know, but they don't know where from, and they're not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Or
thing.
they're too
You get-
nervous to come up and say hi. Or...
But like most of our Aussie fans are just like, Fitz, fucking upload, mate. I was going to say the C word, but I thought I better not.
No,
They
you
would-
can say that.
You can say
Fucking
We're
it.
not
upload.
stra-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
We might censor it.
See,
I don't know.
they said I could say it, and then I said it, and then they looked down.
But we thought about it, and we thought, will this get past the...
It's all right. You just censor that.
You said it, and we were like, you can say it, but we have to cut it because we'll get no ads.
That's
if
all
we
right.
keep it in.
You guys are good.
Yeah,
Thank you
definitely.
very much, mate.
Like I get recognized. It's but most of the time when it happens, they're cool about it.
Yeah.
I'm still on edge. I'm still looking at their hands. I'm still looking at like whether or
Make
not
sure
they're going to
they
take a
don't
photo or
It's
what
like
the
that
deal
part
is.
in fucking Spider-Man 2 where they see his face and they're like, we won't tell.
Yeah,
Like, put his
yeah,
mask back on.
But most of the time, people
we see it.
who were fans.
Can we see it?
I've never seen your face, ever.
You wanna-
Every time I met you, you look exactly like that. You can leave it.
You want
no.
to see it now?
No, no, we'll
Yeah,
leave, no, leave it till the end.
You want to leave it to
Well,
the end?
it's gonna be blurred. It's
All
gonna be-
right.
If we have such
Mate,
a,
are you stupid?
if you
It's gonna
guys
be
watch the whole
blurred
video-
anyway.
no, it won't be blurred.
Do you think our viewers are
It-
5? The retention tricks from
won't-
2020 aren't going to work on
it
them.
won't be blurred, guys.
God,
and-
watching, guys.
It won't be blurred. He's got a face reveal right here, and
Here, have a look.
I saw it. I actually did just see it.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like that was my first time as well. Weirdly, I've seen you many times, but
You pulled like a strange face when you did it.
Every
Fucking
time-
blur that.
They'll blur that. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Lads,
Well, we're going to move on? That's a monumental moment.
you do a lot of drugs.
I don't know.
slight
my-
misconception.
there
on
is
My
this.
one thing I've
misconception.
taken from watching your content over the years is the amount of partying and drugs, and I have a long list of questions about this now.
He really like it's.
I got
it's
very curious.
particularly long.
But
Okay.
this is, when are you going to get to ask these questions?
Mm.
Okay, you do a lot of drugs. Our audience
very
is young,
accusatory.
and one lad is 8. I
Wait, say
found out.
again?
Our audience is very young, and one lad who watches this is 8. I found out.
8.
So
Yeah,
8.
8-year-old.
Hey,
just
Kevin.
be real.
Hey, kids.
Just be real. Okay. What are your do's and don'ts with drugs?
Don't
Do's and
I haven't even
don'ts.
done that many neither, so I need this as well.
do's and don'ts.
Do's and don'ts. Well, I have a couple of good rules here, rules of
Yeah.
thumbs for the 8-year-olds in the crowd. Okay, number 1, no pills, no powders. Okay, no pills,
This is good.
no powders.
I like these rules.
You never know what is going to be in a pill. You never know what's going to be in a press
the
tab. You never
needles
know
are
what's going to
fine.
be in your powder. Don't snort; it's gross.
You can test them, but
I would test your drugs. Don't snort any little thing you find off the floor in a bathroom.
yeah.
All right, well, that's really
That was
helped
great
out the
advice.
8-year-old. Yeah. What are drug misconceptions?
I think there's a slight misconception about just how much drugs we did.
Yeah,
or do.
I think there's a certain
a lot?
misconception.
Well, yeah,
I
but
think it
way
might
more
just-
than you'd
it might-
expect. I'm fucking pinging right now. No,
I watched those videos. I think it was just weed. It seemed like it was just weed, Tom.
well, we
Hang on, was it just
weed.
weed?
No, no, no,
Because
no.
my next 8 questions aren't going to
no,
work
it was
if
not
it was
just
just
weed.
weed.
Weed was a big part of, especially Misfits culture. Swagger was the one who got me into weed.
it's true. The
So
first
you
time I met you,
You can
did offer me
Photoshop
weed.
devil horns on my head.
And this guy still does a lot of weed.
I smoked weed this morning.
I believe that.
Me myself, like I had a period where I smoked weed every day.
That was sick. Yeah, well done.
That was super cool.
Make that into
All
a
our
sick
fans, I
edit.
think you're the coolest person ever now.
No, it wasn't cool because it didn't work for me. Smoking weed
not?
every day. I mean, it wasn't like I had a nightmarish time, but I stopped smoking weed. It was during COVID when I started smoking weed every day. Bit of a boring time, you know. I thought, let's fucking smoke blunts and DJ.
I bet it went really.
for some reason.
Did you go dead
You got
quick
good
for
at
you then,
DJ
or
then.
slow?
What's it? Sorry.
Did COVID then go really quick or really slow for you? If you were high?
Well, it felt slow and then it felt quick. You know what I mean? Like when it was over, it was like, take me back to when I was smoking blunts every day.
But when you were smoking blunts every day,
You
it was
also
like, this
miss
isn't-
COVID. I feel like YouTubers are the only people on the planet that miss COVID.
No, COVID was terrible.
No,
COVID was a bad time. It was a
especially
dark
here.
time.
You didn't even
Especially
feel
here.
it. I don't really miss COVID.
Here in Melbourne, it wasn't fucking fun.
Your bank balance does.
I'm fine, man.
What I mean by like it didn't work for me is like when I stopped smoking weed every day, I said, look, like we need to take this with more moderation.
Sure.
It was only when I stopped that I realized how anxious I was all the time.
Oh,
because
yeah.
of in large part because of the weed.
Right.
And you know, I still even think like by a lot of like heavy weed smoker standards, I wasn't even smoking that much. You know, but it just wasn't working. It's
This
like
is mainly why I don't do drugs, because I do them. Well, not even drug, but you know, alcohol
You
Mm.
and
don't
such.
drink, really.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, this is the best. And I wake up in the morning and I'm like,
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
What?
But drinking's
fuck?
terrible. For
Do you know what I mean?
Drinking will
especially.
make you super
I'm looking
anxious.
at you. I know you drink
you know,
heavily,
it's-
Jack. We need
I don't know why.
We'll get to him in a
Yeah,
second.
we'll get to
guys.
him. He has a real problem. What is the worst drug you've done?
The worst drug,
As in like worst, as in like naughty.
worst experience, or the hardest
Yeah, worst
drug?
experience.
Worst experience.
I mean, honestly, one of my worst drug experiences is on weed. It was on
Yeah,
edible
it would be
marijuana.
edible marijuana.
It was in my early days of doing edibles, and I just had almost a psychedelic nightmare of a time
Really?
in LA, where it was. I felt away from home.
How much did you have?
We split like 1,000 milligram brownie.
That'll do it. Yeah.
So I don't know exactly how much was in me, but it was enough that I was shaking.
Wow.
And
yeah, if
in
you
the
have
fetal
enough
position.
edibles, you'll tense
Fetal
the fuck
position.
up.
Yes, fetal position, shaking,
fucking
sort
hell.
of just being like, this isn't me. Like, I need to.
Oh, you had a bit of a moment.
Had a bit of a moment where I was like, where the fuck what am I doing? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
You start to question existential shit. And everything's a bit scary. Everything just got scary.
I got dead pissed off with you lot for a while because Schlatt would always on the weekly slap when I was his biggest fan be like, I'm never going to do drugs, I'm never going to drink. And he was like so accustomed to it. And I was like, that's cool. I was raised in like I'm not religious, but I did go to a very Christian primary school where at some point they really instilled in me traditional drug values of never drink, never do drugs.
Sure.
And I remember when Schlatt, my hero, you got him to smoke weed, and I was so upset. I like genuinely, I was 16. I was like, he's betrayed us.
But you were at the same time listening to our podcast on the way to school.
I thought it was cool, but I thought you'll never go near Schlatt.
You're like, these guys are cooked,
Yeah.
man. Like, what's going on?
It's cool, but I was like, no, I'd never do that. That's wrong. And then you got someone who would never do it to do it, and I thought, there's no order in the world.
He didn't even inhale. He didn't even inhale.
Did he
man.
inhaled?
Well, he might have got
inhaled.
like slightly high, but
You know
look,
what?
like I think like weed's one of those things where you just you could go your whole life not doing it and be very happy, right? It's like you might as well.
Yeah, you're not missing out.
And for some people, it really doesn't agree with you, and it can cause like actual
it could
actual
make you.
issues.
It could make you.
Don't agree with you.
Weed isn't a thing that works for everyone, and
Yeah.
like very few people can smoke weed every day and function well.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, if you're smoking weed every day, you're probably going to be a little like more lazy. You're not going to have a lot more motivation than you would. You're just going to want to kind of jerk the fuck off and just like
I'm
do other
sorry,
shit.
I've never heard the context "smoke weed every day" said in such a serious setting. And it
That
really
was my funny. I really
most people.
You cut him off at the jerking off stage, and I thought you were going to have weigh in there. I was like, okay,
Jerking
no,
off.
please tell us about how you want to
It's
jerk
great.
off every day.
What would I be like on cocaine, given my
just
personality?
insufferable.
Really?
I've never done cocaine.
What would I? But I bet you've been around cocaine.
I've been around people.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't want to talk to you for more than 10 minutes if you were
Really?
all gagged out on coke. Yeah.
The
it's
What would
thing
I
about
be
intense.
like?
Well, the thing about coke is it makes you feel like you're the most interesting person in the room, and you're
Well,
really.
you already feel like that.
Well, I think you're a talker. Like you.
I am.
You're chatty, and you're also very confident. And sometimes those make the worst cokeheads of all.
I think it would make, imagine you, but like 10 times
More me.
Yeah. It just
I think
amplifies your
it's-
personality, and you also lack self-awareness a lot of the time when you're on
I
coke.
shoot a Minecraft video, I get really coked up, and I just talk.
You would have
or
yourself-
MCC. Or
You would have yourself finished within 2 minutes of that video starting. It'd be ridiculous. You'd say something out of this world.
What would Jack be like on cocaine?
Just a chill dude.
You probably
Bro, you
would
should
actually
start
be pretty
doing
chill.
coke, man. You
Yeah.
be fucking chill.
You
Thanks, guys.
look like you'd be like a cool coke guy.
I a lot of the time I used to go out drinking a lot. And one of the things that happened was I'd often get approached. I've never done coke in my life. I used to get approached a lot by drunk people being like, "Yo, where'd you get packet, man?"
Yeah, because
'Cause
you
they just
look
look
like
at you. They just
you
look
kind
at
of
me.
look
You have
like
the
the kind of
eyes.
guy that
Do
would-
your big VODs opening intro.
Well,
on
I
this.
just have very like apparently when I get
Right,
drunk,
man.
I do
Oh
like a
my
bit of a
Yeah,
Ah.
okay.
So they used to come up to me a lot. And I remember one guy, it like happened to me like 3 times in a week or something stupid. It was like ridiculous. There's not question that I've been out 3 times in that week. But anyway, it hit me 100% of the time. And I was like, I looked at this guy, I was like, why the fuck? All right, why? Why are you asking me? Because I've been asked too many times now. I don't do that shit. Why are you asking me? And he's like, look at your eyes, man.
Yeah.
You got to be on something. You like wouldn't let it slip.
I feel like you just have a very like cokey facial structure
do
as
have
well.
quite-
Yeah, it's
you know,
true. That or heroin.
Yeah, or the heroin.
I look
I feel
I
like
could
you'd
do
start
heroin.
doing coke and we'd either have a great chat or you'd be like on the street committing knife crime. I feel like there's no real in between with you.
It's really very polar there.
Yeah.
What do your parents think of your public drug taking? Because my mum wouldn't be happy.
I
But you have been public. You
know,
spoke about it.
Drank.
I feel like over the course of the times on the podcast, like the Misfits podcast, where I've discussed drug use or I've discussed my own use with drugs, originally my parents were not enthusiastic about me smoking weed before I had anything going for me. Why would they? And I remember having this conversation with my dad a couple of years back. I was visiting from Australia. I was staying at his place. And, I bought like an ounce of weed to smoke. And, I'm smoking. I'm having a frank conversation with my dad and saying, hey, you used to really not like the fact that I smoked weed. What's changed now? You're like super cool with it. Like we'll even like share a joint like now and then. And he was always like, well, weed is one of those drugs that can, if you don't have any direction or any ambition, it'll keep you aimless. And like, he didn't want that for me. And he was like, so, you had to make sure, he was like, so I had to wait and make sure that you weren't a fuck up before like I was okay with you smoking weed. And I was like, oh, so I'm not a fuck up? And he's like, no. I was like, yes. And then I smoked the joint. So like, I don't know. My mom, she's fine with it. Like, as long as you're not responsible, like irresponsibly, like, glorifying its use, let's just be fully transparent and clear. Like, if you're under the age of 18, you should not be drinking. No. You should not be doing drugs. You shouldn't be like doing drugs of like any kind.
Even at 18 is a questionable decision. Like your
I only say once you're 18, like you're legally an adult. In most
you can
aspects,
make that decision.
In most aspects, you can make the decision. Obviously, in America, when you turn 21, you can drink.
Yeah,
21 is kind of the adult age there. But to that, I say, if you're 18. You can get drafted to go to war and get your legs blown off in a minefield, but you can't drink a beer? Okay.
That's a reasonable. Hey, Eryn liked that one.
Can I be honest? These responses are so much more responsible than I could have.
He did anticipate responsibility.
This is quite. The 8-year-old is like, yeah, he's going to really have taken a lot from this. He's going to like. This is quite moving.
I think we always make kind of a point on our podcast to add disclaimers and sort of talk about like the non-glorious sides of drugs that we've tried, as well as I remember we did acid together as a group, and then we did a podcast about it.
I watched that.
Yes, and we did like a
that.
10-minute disclaimer at the beginning, just kind of talking about why we decided to do it and the effects,
how it
the
works,
negatives, the potential
to the best
risk,
of our knowledge, how it actually the science behind what it's doing to you.
Yeah, and we were aware of the responsibility of that we had, and I think that's also why our parents kind of accepted it as well, because they knew that we were sort of. We weren't just like
it wasn't MTV, fucking Coke, yeah, fucking crazy shit.
Those crazy MTV days. I mean,
yeah,
yeah. But anyway,
why do you party hard?
When?
The crazy thing is, I feel like
there was the video, the Misfits parties were like such a thing.
I used to rewatch them in COVID. Like, man, being an adult looks so cool.
Yeah,
so I was like, it's gonna be so cool. I'm gonna party with Pokemon.
I feel like we partied hard, maybe like once a year.
No, it was we like had 5 or 6 times a year. We partied pretty hard.
But I mean, like, I really feel like on the spectrum of outrageousness.
No,
we were pretty safe.
We only did one outrageous banger a year, probably.
And why not? You're young.
I do remember.
Why do we party hard? Because we're alive, goddammit.
Well, it's just a beautiful thing, I think, to just bring a bunch
of... partying harder?
I think it's up to you, mate. I mean, I think everyone deserves a time in their life where they party hard.
As long as you're surrounded by people you love and appreciate who will party with you.
Speaking of not doing that...
Tom, I'll party with you. Just so you know, just so you're aware, I am so down to party with you.
Yeah, tell me this guy doesn't have a bag on him right now.
And everyone listening, if anyone needs that time, I'm around.
Bro, you sound like a drug dealer.
Have you ever gone clubbing by yourself? And if someone in this room has, is that sad?
I haven't. I'm not going to juck anyone's jump. If you want to go out clubbing, you want to be a lone wolf out on the prowl, having a night out,
right?
Go do that.
Yeah.
If you think like, A, you don't need to be on drugs to club.
No.
It'll help maybe. But like some people can pull it off sober, and I think that's fucking mad impressive.
I've done it a few times sober.
Clubbing fundamentally...
I did that a couple of times.
I feel like clubbing fundamentally should be about dancing, it should be about music, it should be about connection.
Mate, you lot are so fucking mature. It's wigging me out. This is amazing.
Brother, I'm DJing.
I did do DJing, yeah. I don't do it so much anymore, but I do it every now and again as a sort of mild hobby.
This is like our most responsible educational episode we've ever done.
We really didn't expect this, I'll be honest.
I think we have an interesting journey on YouTube because we had this podcast and it was sort of, it was of a rowdy sort. We talked about some real shit, but I think we also, like, as individuals, we're all pretty mature, or tried to be mature.
We tried to be as mature as we could.
We were very self-aware the whole time.
Yeah,
and
there was a lot of tongue-in-cheek shit, but by and large, we were, as responsible as we were trying to be.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to do a shoey now.
Oh,
hey!
I heard about that.
Hang on. Let me ask my first question. Why do you do shoeys? Because they don't look right. Also,
I don't do shoeys.
So let's
what's
for the
culture
audience at home, a shoey is an Australian tradition that was created 120 years ago by Sir Edward Shoey. And what you do is you take any kind of alcohol that you have on hand. Back in the 1820s, it was it was like a vodka mixed, or like it was grog. It was rum and water, and a little bit of lemon. And they put that in their shoe, and then they would drink it out of their shoe. And the reason why they did that is because the shoes were the only watertight containers that they had at the time.
We're so
before
privileged.
they had like water
Was it
skins.
genuinely by Edward?
Before they had water skins that would leak, and so they had cork. You know, like cork, like from the tree. Cork filled cork infills in the shoes would make the shoe with the leather watertight, and then they'd be able to keep the grog in their shoe and then drink it whenever they needed to.
Like, how privileged are we to have vessels in which to contain our liquids, right? Like it's a reminder to Shoey of simpler times.
Do you have a wet shoe all day? Because I don't think you should do a shoey. I'm going to try and talk you out of it.
The body heat from your foot will evaporate.
Don't do it. You always call me dirty and grim. But this is going to be by far.
It's a very dirty thing, but it's tradition.
Dirty and grim.
There'll be a bit of a soggy moment.
Don't do it, Jack.
Is it
You're going to
mine
stink.
shoe
You're going to
do I
stink
use?
like beer.
You do use your own shoe typically.
A slipper, just
a slipper.
in case.
Is that a hotel
Jack,
slipper?
Don't do it,
The slipper's actually
This
got
is
hairs.
grim. Don't do a shoey. You're going to stink like beer.
Well, hang on. So what? I take my shoe off.
No,
Take
don't
your
do
shoe
it.
off.
Remove the shoe.
Right
And you'll
shoe, left
notice
shoe.
there's a
Jack, you've
beautiful
got a
container
serious
here for
problem
liquids of any sort.
With your alcohol.
What about if I do a small? I won't do the
What
whole
time
thing.
is
What if I
it?
do a small
Tommy, could you give that a smell and just make sure that it's
It's not even midday. Actually, it's very pleasant smelling shoe,
Oh,
to be fair.
hey.
Shockingly, but
Thank you. Okay, well,
Jack, it's not even midday.
doesn't
Don't
have a
do
way
this.
of opening this.
You could
We've
age
been
that
so
beer,
responsible. We've
like in an
I'll
oak
be honest.
barrel.
We might have been stopped by the fact that I didn't think to bring an opener.
Could try use your clipboard, maybe. I don't know if that's going to be
that could work.
Look, I'm just improvising here.
Audience,
Maybe-
I don't support this.
Maybe if
It's
you simply
sad.
squeeze.
No, because you're going to break our precious clipboard now. Jack, this alcohol is ruining your goddamn life.
Is that not a twist off?
I don't think so. That looks like a.
No, I don't think so.
Just use your teeth.
I can't do that. I don't have the sort of tooth strength. I've got like.
No,
I've got-
just use your two front teeth.
we might have been. You're lucky. We might have been stopped. by the
No,
lack
Chris
of an
is,
opener.
Chris is finding one.
think so.
What
Yeah,
beverage is
it's
this
all right.
even?
It's a Kirin Ichiban.
Oh,
It's a very nice beer.
delightful.
It's Japanese.
It's one of
It's a
the-
Japanese beer. It's delicious.
It's a
It's one of my
classy
favourites.
shoey we got on our hands.
Yeah, it's a very classy shoey. I know.
Audience.
But it's an Aussie tradition. I'm a Kiwi.
It makes
you know?
sense.
He's American.
The
We don't-
Japanese don't wear
It's true.
their
Neither of you are even fucking
The
Australian.
Japanese don't wear their shoes inside. So what better of a beer to put into your shoe than a
actually-
Japanese beer?
Your good
Yeah,
friend
Chris.
Chris has came back with.
Got ourselves a
opener.
bottle opener.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Chris.
you, Chris. He also wore a suit.
Oh, come on, Jack.
Well,
Everyone at home's going to think you're dirty.
no, everyone's gonna love that I respected their tradition.
No, this
This
is...
is
will.
tradition. Thomas, could you hold my microphone, please? Thank you.
A bit of fun. A bit of fun.
Okay, it's going in.
Mm-hmm. Come on, show the camera. Give pour from a little bit.
I'm just gonna do a little one because we've
Oh
got a
my
podcast
God.
to do. That is actually quite a lot.
You poured like 3/4 of the beer in there. Well, go on, drink it before it gets
Fucking hell.
soggy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and there goes the foam.
Oh, you dirty little rat thing. You horrible little
Yeah.
pervert. Oh,
you
you
like that
fucking
drink with
dirty
Jack.
prick.
Jack,
Here's
that's
a
our
mate.
mate. Where we drink with
Oh,
Jack.
man, you
He
got
gets it down
an
in
eight.
serious
Seven.
problems.
So you already
Six.
finished,
I already
Dave.
finished.
We're a bit late on that chomp.
That's okay.
That's all right.
I was in disbelief.
Hey,
Jack,
like an oath, mate. Yeah, if I can get it in you.
how dare you ever complain at me for being dirty, you horrible thing.
So what was also really nice about that is he just gave all of the athlete's foot fungus that was already in his shoe an extra meal.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a very yeasty shoe now.
mate.
Yes.
Do you have a spare shoe I can do the show
You
in?
can fuck right off.
Just let it dry out, brother. Don't even worry about it. Let it dry out.
That wasn't. I think that might be the shittest tradition I've ever taken part in. I'm going to be honest. That was awful. That was really.
Oh, and you stink of beer as well now. Let me smell the shoe.
The shoe is going to be bad. I'm going to be honest. It's a beery shoe.
Can I have it? Can I have a whiff?
rank.
Oh yeah, actually, it
That
smells
is
like beer. I
rank.
quite like it.
Smells like beer and foot.
actually quite a nice scent, I feel like.
It's quite.
It's making me
It's
thirsty.
kind of like a bar, you know.
It's making me
Yeah.
thirsty.
It's hoppy.
Oh, good on you,
Yo,
bro.
yo,
Like,
put
good
it on.
ya.
You can put it on and jump around on one foot
Is that really what?
because it'll be hoppy.
It'll be hoppy. I get it.
You are now
It's
meant
actually
to...
not an IPA.
Don't
It's a
finish
lager.
the beer, Jack.
I'm not going to finish the beer. Don't worry.
I'll
I've got a
finish the
serious
beer.
problem.
Do you have to sort of mother Jack a lot of the time? Do you feel
There's the beer.
Oh, hey, I'll have a
on
beer.
tour, you kind of like, Jack, come on, reel it in, man.
I
Reel
do.
it in.
I've had to a couple times be like, Jack, let's not have another drink. But as soon as he's had one drink, that's it. Then he goes, nah,
out of
nah.
control.
But also, he doesn't look drunk. You know how I have 3 beers and you can really
Yeah.
tell I'm there. It's when Jack has like 12 beers, he looks like when I've had 2. So he's like,
I've seen him in this state before, and I can tell by the glazed over eyes.
yeah.
You know, when you,
Have you seen me drunk before? I don't-
yeah,
Yes,
in the
course
San
he
Diego
has.
party, you were pretty loose. I feel. Oh no, you left early at that party.
Yeah, I was
The grog
tired as
party.
shit.
I've definitely seen you drunk before.
I feel like if you've met me, you probably have.
How are you doing that through the mask?
Listen to the sounds.
Mate,
Beautiful.
Fitz, shall we just fucking do this, me and you, mate? Because we've got some fucking...
No, I've just got a bit of a wet leg. It's fine.
Sorry. No, thank you.
No, thank you very much. Oh, there's a little bit left.
You lads are fucking dirty. Oh, mate, I fucking hate you lot, man.
Hey man, you're the one wearing a Canadian tux judging us, bro. Like, come on.
Mate, I'm
Yeah,
not
come
judging
on,
you,
they-
Fitz. I'm with
Come
you,
on,
mate.
they're
You're
the
classy and
civilized
cool.
ones. My shoe is so
You lot are fucking horrible, man.
well.
I'll stick to water.
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
That that bit of the podcast probably wasn't
That was
worth the
fucking
really wet shoe.
refreshing.
It's a lovely bit. It's a delicious.
That was a
bit.
good beer.
Right. Anyway, I've done my shoey now. Tom, do you want to do your next question?
Hell
What's
yeah.
Pokemon really like?
Is that really it?
What's,
I cannot believe you just asked me
We've
that.
met
Dude,
Pokemon.
What do you mean?
Dude,
Yeah, but you really know what
wouldn't-
she's
You
like.
wouldn't believe me if I told you.
We've both met. We've both hung out with her for prolonged period. Like you know her.
I haven't spent
Yeah,
much
but
time.
do you really know her?
Well, now I'm questioning it.
I have nothing but good things to say about
literally.
Pokemon. I think she's a good creator and a great person. She was always like, always there for a chat, always there for advice. Very knowledgeable person.
Yeah, she's been very nice to you as
Yeah.
well.
She's lovely.
This is a
Yeah,
weird
she's-
thing
I know her.
asked.
Like, genuinely.
All right.
Sorry, bro. No tea there. Like fucking.
What is no, it doesn't make sense, this next question.
He wrote down genuinely to ask you two, what is the meaning of life?
Did you write all these questions when you were 16 years old on the bus or something? Because these feel
I did channel a lot.
He
of
wrote
them.
these yesterday, tired as fuck, right before his show. I'm going to be honest with you.
manifested this moment all those years ago. What's the meaning of life? Man.
I don't know. I could hate you, live presently or some deep shit.
Live presently, love deeply.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, and it was concise as well.
Oh,
Mate,
Type shit.
this is actually the best guests ever.
how dare you say that to Matt Pat and Steph?
Yeah.
Oh, are you saying Matt, Pat, and Steph are the best guests ever?
Matt Pat and
They were
Steph.
really good.
They
Matt,
were
Pat, and his wife were incredible people. They really are. But anyway,
Yeah.
You can
I
say
don't know,
Those
number
are people
2.
that live presently and love deeply, I bet.
I think very much so. I've got a question for you. It's a good one, actually. You took a long time away.
It's a good
Yeah.
one, actually.
I really like this one.
all
You
the
took a long
shit
time
ones.
off of YouTube, and I met you during that time. It was the first time we ever met.
That's right.
In
yeah.
London,
Yeah.
and I was asking you all about it, and you told me that you were working on a few different projects, music, I believe.
Well, I feel like I was sort of searching for what I could do next.
Okay,
And having perhaps a bit of a crisis. It's funny. I remember us having that
you didn't
chat.
seem like you were in a crisis. If it makes you feel better,
No, I'm very good at masking, Jack. But it was funny. I remember us having that chat, and then
Me too, man.
I saw a year ago, you posted a video saying like, you're not happy with YouTube. And
I
didn't mean to
did.
bring up that sort of,
No,
thing if you don't want
it's
to talk
fine.
about- But I was like, oh man, I hope I didn't fucking send
no.
him on a train of thought.
no,
Like,
you didn't. I think
oh,
the
this-
fucking
I need
the
to find
YouTube
more
thing's sort of
meaning
built
here.
for it. I think everyone goes through it at some point after doing it for so long.
yeah, man. Look, like I just feel like
Fuck off, yeah, you did.
there are a couple of reasons why I stepped away. I think one of them was just like I didn't really care that much about all of the attention. I didn't really care for the attention. I
Sure.
felt, if anything, I felt like very a bit too perceived at the time. Things happened really quick for us. We blew up like.
It was a matter of 2 years.
I look
we were
back and I was,
just,
yeah, and for you guys, I think it's even crazier. Like I saw the sort of I call you guys like the Minecraft boomers, right? Like you, and you guys are so much more than Minecraft now, but you boomed on that game.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's
for sure,
sort
for
of
sure.
new generation, and I thought like, man, this must be so much for these guys. Like it's
Yeah,
a lot, and you're super young, right? So it was sort of that, and then it was also just I guess just we had this podcast. We had you're sort of putting yourself out there as a young man all the time. We're quite vulnerable on our podcast. And I started realizing, man, I'm just creating one hell of a digital footprint here.
Sure, okay.
And I was at a time in my life when I just wasn't really too sure of who I was. And I just felt like that's a scary combo. When you're like,
Yeah,
you're sort of like figuring yourself out. You're going through maybe a bit of a growth spurt.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you have to show up in front of everyone all the time. And I just didn't, I just said, like, it was doing my head, and frankly, and I just said like, Like, well, I'm just going to stop. Like, I'm just going to stop. We still did the podcast throughout that period, mind you.
Oh God, yeah.
But it was a bit of a confusing time, and I think I was putting a lot of pressure on myself, as YouTubers are often
renowned
do.
for doing. Yeah.
And I don't know. A lot of people called me crazy for taking the time away, but I really feel like I needed it, and I feel like I grew so much during that period.
How did you grow, and where are you now?
I think I grew socially the most. I mean, I was, we're gaming YouTubers. A lot of my free time, I was just cooped up in my room, just making videos, trying to make people laugh through a screen, And I remember one Christmas I was hanging out with my brothers who were becoming, young adults themselves. And they were sort of telling me these stories about university, telling me about their social lives, the trials and tribulations, all these things. And I just thought, like, fuck, I don't have that. Like, I don't have, like, I sort of have that with my YouTube buddies.
Yeah.
But, like, I am not really putting myself out there enough, and I feel like I'm not growing up, which I think was the scariest part. It's like I was getting like 24, 25, and I was like, I still feel like I'm 18 years old, like mentally.
Yeah, right.
So I guess I just like maturing, maturing in that way socially, just getting, connected with what I actually care about. Because it's sort of like, I don't know. I sort of feel like there's money and then there's everything else, right?
Sure.
And I mean that in a way where it's like, you sort of figure out how to make yourself survive in this world financially or support yourself. And then you got to figure all the other stuff out. Like, how do you, how does a relationship feel? Like, how are you connecting with your friends?
Yeah.
How do you feel like going to sleep at night? All these sorts of things. And I feel like that stuff might just be a bit more important. So I just took that time.
I reckon money's most important.
Type shit. No, I think that's really admirable. Honestly, it was one of the main reasons I wanted to both of you I wanted on the podcast, but specifically I wanted to ask you about that because I remember meeting you at that time, and it was not to confirm your fears, because I don't think it was you that set me on that path. But when I started going through a similar feeling of like, is this the best way to be filling my time? I was like, shit, knowing that you'd been through at least a version of that. I didn't know the ins and outs, but knowing that you'd been through a version of that was like really fucking helpful. So I think it was really cool that you just, I thought it was really admirable to go from a position where you've got like a really good thing going on, but just be like, this isn't right for me right now. I'm going to take the time away. Yeah. And then to come back to it. And like a lot of people, when they come back to things, really feel like they've got to make this big show and dance of it. And just to come back and just come back. I
think like, a lot of YouTubers, and you kind of get it in your head that everything has to be a moment. Everything has to be like, I have to explain everything all the time. Yeah. When in reality, like, you're just putting some fucking funny videos up on the internet. And if people like them, they like them. If they don't, they don't.
Yeah.
Like, can kind of be that simple, really. And I think like taking that time off, I sort of reconnected with that simplicity. And so when I came back, I thought, look, just make a funny video and see how you feel.
Yeah.
And so
I think that's really fucking cool.
I still feel like I'm sort of grappling with all this stuff too. I don't need this come across. I'm no guru or anything like that.
No. But I don't think it comes across that way.
I still struggle with it a lot, to be honest. But I'm way more at peace with it now. So that's
good.
That's pretty poggers, bro.
That poggers indeed. God, I've not said that in fucking years.
We are in our early 20s.
Yes.
Yep.
What a time.
Done. What are our things we must do?
Party hard.
Party hard.
I've just done a shoey for fuck's sake at 10 a.m. So
I would say and not to be serious the whole time.
No, I'm loving this.
When it comes to like your interactions with people, just sort of figure out who is worth keeping around, I suppose. We've
had a lot of that the past few years.
I feel like in your early 20s, you really feel like a sense of responsibility, especially if you're a creator, to kind of be nice to everyone, to like accommodate everyone. At least for me, like I'm a real people pleaser. I think you kind of grow up a bit and you're like, I actually don't need to give all that energy away. If it's not, and your relationships end, and you'll sort of encounter all these things naturally, like friends, all these things. Like sometimes things have just run their course and it's time to move on to something different, kind of thing.
Sure.
But on the other hand, I would say just like fucking have a good time. You're young, like don't worry too much about existential bullshit. Just like
we spend a lot of time on existential bullshit.
YouTubers often do, because it's just an insane position to be in, like fundamentally. Like I don't mean to be like YouTubing so hard or anything like that. Like it's just a conundrum, I think, to go through as a young person.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's a really difficult thing to explain because it's actually the easiest job ever. You just dick around, but it's all the fucking mental questions you accidentally come up with while you're doing it that like are the fucking thing to grapple with. It's like it's only yourself that makes it difficult, right? Like the job is easy. It's your brain that makes it like really complicated. It's a strange position, but
Yeah.
I think that's really fucking good advice.
Yeah.
Try not to deep it as much.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep going to deep places.
No.
No, I like that.
We do as
I
well,
like
so
that,
it's
Fitz.
fine.
Look,
It's
for
really
the younger
good.
generation, there's no when to lock in.
For the
and
8-year-old,
no
for
when
the
to have
8-year-old
fun.
in the audience, lock in. You know,
He's pretty locked. I mean, coming to the show at fucking 8 years old is
That's pretty
going
locked
to the
in.
show
That's
at
pretty
8
locked
years
in.
old.
That's aura, bro.
That's an autonomous 8-year-old.
No, he was with his
with his
family.
You bought a bus ticket and everything. You.
Oh,
hopped on
not that impressive then.
Swag. Can I ask you a question? And this is potentially rude, but I do need to ask because we were obviously the last question where we said we were in our early 20s. I googled it. The internet says you're pushing 40.
Whoa!
Are you pushing 40?
I was born in 1988.
He's pushing 40. That's pushing 40. He's no way. You're real. You seem to me so much younger than you are.
He's really immature.
I was just really. You're older than our friend Filzer, who is famously our old friend.
How old is Filzer?
He's also born in '88, but a month later.
Oh,
He's March.
Yeah, he's
I
March.
got
instead
a
of-
month on film.
Yeah, you got a
should
month
get
on film.
dinner or something.
Wow.
You and Filza.
How do you maintain such youth?
Oh, you know.
I've seen you now. You don't even look 40.
I know.
37.
It's a lot of
So-
a lot of work.
It was fun to see how you navigated that.
You know
Thank
the company Glock,
The
the handgun.
from the handguns.
The
Yeah,
handgun. They do another product that people don't know about. They produce and sell some of the highest quality horse semen on the market.
Is that genuinely true?
Genuinely true. You can look it up.
All right.
I go to them,
Mm-hmm.
get it right from the supplier.
Yeah.
A liter for $1,300.
It's expensive stuff. I heard
It
that.
is. You refrigerate it. It lasts you 7 months in the fridge. Dip it in, rub it in, massage it in your face.
I've started
Right
to.
after, it's so good for your collagen. It's good for your pores. It's good for your sebaceous filaments.
I don't even know
You
what
can
that's
drink it.
And how?
It's
And what
like
does that do?
it's an elixir of youth.
You sort of make it
Wow.
into a pina colada if you like.
If you like,
taste is quite bitter on its own. But yeah, the Glock.
I put
they,
them onto
they,
it.
they get this. They extract the semen with a device.
Is that why
called
you're so baby-faced in the face reveal?
they extract the semen using a device called the Glock 4000.
Yeah.
You two were lying.
What?
Well, he's fibbing.
His thing was a fib, but I do somehow actually believe
The
the,
horse
fact that
semen.
Glock sell horse semen. It is a genuine luxury. They eat it somewhere or drink it somewhere.
Well, it's also used to breed racehorses.
It's true. That's the other thing.
Yeah, if you, that's
There's
like the
nothing
other-
more
that's like the
valuable.
other-
Secondary
Liquid gold
purpose.
stallion cummers. Stallion cummers, liquid gold.
Stallion cum is very.
And here he is
expensive
rubbing
stuff.
on his face. Talk about a privilege.
You're right.
I have a secondary question.
Let's go.
With all your wisdom that you've gained in such a long time,
True.
how does Tom find the woman
Such a
for
long
him?
time.
He
Hey?
well, you're single, and Fitz, you have a girlfriend. I have a girlfriend. I don't know about you, Swagger.
Nope.
All right, never mind. How does he make it work? He says he told me the other day he's looking for a beautiful babe now, and
Just keep growing out that beard, handsome.
True.
You like the beard?
I do actually like it a lot.
it does suit you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Do you think that's going to get him the beautiful babe he desires?
I think it could
I
help.
don't want a boy. You said I want
That's
a
what you
beautiful
said to
babe.
me. You said I want a
didn't say
beautiful. You
wanted
said
a
Jack, you pulled me
beautiful babe.
aside on one of the
You're
show
saying
days.
babe.
There's
Yeah,
nothing
babe. He
wrong
said,
with
not
wanting a
baby.
beautiful babe.
He pulled me aside. He said, "Jack, I would love a beautiful babe to call my own." And I thought, that's beautiful. That's a good. That's a beautiful thing, Tom.
Sounds like you're ordering one when you say it like that.
So anyway, I just wondered if you guys had any advice for him. The beard, obviously, is definitely a good step, but
How's your charisma stat?
Yeah, how there is.
Riz high?
It's high, yeah. Isn't it, Jack?
yeah, you know, yeah, you have your own unique form of Riz that I've witnessed. And
What does that mean?
you like, and this is a good way of filtering who's going to work and who isn't. You almost become like,
I anti-flirt.
yeah, he does like anti-flirt. It's like he becomes more himself and goes weirder. And it's like if they fuck with that, then they're obviously going to like him.
Exactly. That's a good tactic.
It's
I
a
feel.
good. It kind
You
of is
present your
clever.
most authentic self in a sort of peacocking manner,
That is a
That was an
eloquent way of
apt
saying
way of
it.
phrasing it.
and that way you know that the fine shits that approach you
Mm.
are actually like on board with your level of riz.
That was like a really. There's been a few.
Just
Anyway,
just aura farm in the huzz.
Well, I tell you what, Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, did you have something?
No, I was just going to ask you a question.
Oh yeah, there was a question I wrote
we
late
keep asking
yesterday.
you like completely insane questions, and you keep kind of like giving like a really lovely answer by the end of it.
Try and answer this one, wholesome boys.
This
I
ain't
wrote this
nothing else.
question yesterday, late night. I just wanted to know.
Ooh, what's on
What
your
was
mind?
it like, boys, to have lived my dream? What was it like to have met Twink-Schlatt?
Twink-Schlatt? We did meet
Twink-Schlatt.
Twink-Schlatt.
Take me back. God,
You missed a section of your question, Jack.
He was so much better back then.
Yeah. Sorry. I also wrote. You really? I wrote. Were you just as hard as I was watching
Watching
the video
the
with
video.
with Schlatt?
Oh, what video? The
Just any of the videos he was in, really.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, we weren't hard.
I can't remember
Next
that.
one.
I can't remember that detail.
It's worth clarifying. We were not hard.
I may have been chubbed,
Back then, like it was just
but
Schlatt
it was
to
an,
us.
it was
I think
an,
that's
it
reasonable.
was
Oh
a-
yeah,
it was
you
a-
wouldn't
it
have known
was-
any other Schlatt.
Yeah, like back then we weren't. Maybe we didn't appreciate that Schlatt.
That's the
because
thing.
He was
Yeah,
the only
yeah.
Schlatt
No
we knew.
one did. That's the thing
That's
that
the
fucks
thing.
me
He was
off.
just the only
If I'd have
Schlatt that
known-
existed. Was the only
If I'd have
Schlatt.
known that there was such a short time, it's
If,
like when my
if
parents.
I knew Twink Death was inbound for Schlatt,
Do you know what I mean?
I
Like when
would've
my
treasured
parents split, I would have appreciated that last time we were all together so much more. That's exactly how it was with me
have you brought it here?
watching Twink
No,
Schlatt.
like it's so true. Like there's nothing. You're never gonna get this moment back, type of thing. So like appreciate it, right? but Twink Schlatt and Twink Death is an interesting phenomenon, and
It
Schlatt
is, it
certainly
is.
went through it, and I think he did it for his own reasons, and Godspeed to him.
he almost accelerated it. He went through it on
No,
purpose.
could always go back.
think, in my
You could
opinion,
always go
Schlatt gets finer with age as a
The
person.
mutton
you know?
chops.
I think he
fucking-
looks
they
great
rock,
now.
dude.
It's
They
just,
rock. I have nothing but good things to say. I think he looks better than he did. I think he literally transcended and improved.
Sorry, wrong.
I think you. I
Are
think
you a
he-
Twink Schlatt?
I think he would. He would.
that was the Schlatt I grew up
He
with.
went from a dime a dozen twink
It's true. He was
to an
yeah.
iconic look.
It's true. He did.
Look,
Yeah, no.
Mutton
that's a very
Chop
good point.
Schlatt is my friend. Twink Schlatt is my hero.
And on that note, gentlemen, we come to the end of our podcast. We do have a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
Mainly, we wanted to know a little bit more about those parties, but look, we'll leave it for the Patreon. Before we get over there, studio, how is the worm doing?
Well, here we are. The worm's in bed, ready to go to sleep. They've had an eventful few weeks, as you would know. But I think it's time for them to go to bed. Originally, James Marriott was meant to come down, but he told me, Owen, I really hate that stupid fucking worm you have. I really hate it a lot. My album's not called Don't Tell the Worm. That's not what the album's called, is what he told me. And I said, James, that's fair enough. I'll sit here in your place instead. So I'm going to sing a song that I wrote that James was meant to play, but he's not here. And his album's not called Don't Tell the Worm. It goes like this.
Worm, you've been through a lot. It's time to go to bed. Worm, you've probably seen too much. I hope your development's fine. You were left within the hands of those who were unqualified. You spread your joy across the globe, but now let's say goodnight. Worm.
I'm Podcast Owen, by the way.
Wow. The
Excellent.
worm is doing amazing,
Can
isn't
you
it?
believe
Fitz and
how well the
Swagger?
worm is?
Shit.
You know, we were just talking to your producer before the show started about the importance of taking deworming tablets.
Yes.
Apparently, some people have worms in their poo. And
Dude, look. Typically, they don't manifest as worms; they manifest as eggs, and you can't tell.
all
that
right,
they're
we're
in
going
your-
over to Patreon now.
So
We've
look,
chat too much shit.
Tommy, tonight, before you go to bed, just focus on your asshole, and if it itches
Oh, no, no,
whatsoever,
no,
you
no.
have worms, and get a deworming tablet.
No,
it comes
stop,
in chocolate,
8-year-old. This is not true.
peanut butter.
SwaggerSoul's is lying. He's an alcoholic.
He's trying to educate y'all.
It's not well, two guys share one beer and they're alcoholics all of a sudden. Just because it's fucking half 11 in the morning.
That's the fucking worm
that's the worm talking.
That's the worm talking. That's the fucking... And it's not our sick worm from the studio. It's your horrible, dirty
Right, we're
worm.
going to go over to the Patreon now.
We are.
Come join us.
It's only $7.
Hang on. It is actually $11 in Australia, which isn't as nice of a number.
Oh, it is. Okay, well, it's $11.
Everyone keeps complaining, going, it's $11, and that's not. And they keep going, that's more than a beer.
Look, it's $7 in America. That's the price. It's £5 in the UK. It's how we set it.
It gets cheaper with age.
It gets cheaper the more sophisticated you get. Anyway,
right,
guys,
we'll see you over on
We'll see you over there.
Bye.
Bye.
Patreon.